Hi everyone, I'm Christina. Welcome. Today I am going to be discussing becoming a better parent if you have bipolar disorder to your children. Now, I have bipolar disorder and I also have one child. And though he's 25 years old and, I've gone through the whole process, I do have some ideas and thoughts and maybe some tips that might help those of you who are parenting young children or any children for that matter. So, if you do have bipolar disorder like myself, you know it's very, very difficult to go through. It's exhausting. It is an emotional roller coaster. It's tough on everyone around us. It's tough on us, and it never stops. But let's take the focus off of us, the parents or the person with bipolar disorder, and let's think about what our kids or our potential kids are going through. Our childhood shapes our lives, and we go through many different phases and stages, and that's kind of universal. Sometimes we go through divorce, we have a death in the family, an illness in the family. There can be several different factors that can come into the picture. Now, keeping in mind that it does have many stages, including adolescence, that can be very confusing and troubling. Well, what about if you throw into the mix a parent who has bipolar disorder? How does that affect a child? Okay, well, you may experience parents with erratic moods that you don't understand, tantrums or odd behavior, just a very unstable life. There's also an added stressor, such as a death in the family, divorce, an illness in the family, or other things in our lives that bring us stress, in addition to having a parent with bipolar disorder. You can understand that it must be incredibly difficult for any child to have to deal with. So what can we do to be better parents? And if we're considering becoming a parent, what should we be aware of? And what is there anything we can do that'll help our kids have a more stable life? My tip at the number one top of the list is we have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of our illness and be responsible with it. And especially, knowing that we have a family, a child that depends on us, to be there for them, to be their stable rock. We need to really pay attention to taking care of ourselves, to make sure that our moods are as stable as they can be, whether it's with vitamins, supplements, medication, therapy. We need to do our part and really take it seriously, because that gives us as a parent the best chance of being a better parent, less reactive, less dramatic, and less unstable for our kids. The next tip I have is that we need to remember that our children are just that, they're children, and we cannot have them be our therapist or our dumping ground, and we can't just brush everything under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist. We need to really be responsible, but also put boundaries that between ourselves and, going into that space of, trying to have your child be your therapist or complaining to your child. That is really unhealthy, and it's very confusing to children because they love their parents, they want to help, but they don't know how. Their brains aren't developed, nor should they, have to solve problems of an adult. I guess now in hindsight, and I didn't do this at the time, but in hindsight, I would say that at an age appropriate time, I would sit my child down and, discuss the fact that I had an illness and I was taking care of it, and it It could make me a little grouchy or more grouchy at times or more sad at times, but I'm, doing my job to, make sure that I'm the very best mom I can be. I think that, and like I said, definitely age appropriate, but letting your children be aware that, and not just wondering, everyone else's mom is like this, and, my mom is, cleaning the house all night for 6 days in a row. We need to, at a certain age, let them know, that we do have an illness that makes our moods, very unstable. And I think that will give them a better ability to understand what we're going through and what they're experiencing. Now, at some point, you're going to have a blow up. And when I say blow up, I'm referring to, a time where you're going through an episode that you're unstable. Your children may witness it. And, what do you do? What do you tell them? Again, this is largely age appropriate, but regardless of age, you should apologize and and do so, according to the age and how it should be done. But always apologize. I think it sets, a strong precedent for children to be empathetic and understanding in the future, but it is also letting them know that they are heard, that you've acted out and done something wrong, and you are willing to do your part and apologize for your actions. Something that I always tried to do, and I was never terribly successful, but that is, and I think it's important as parents to give ourselves a timeout. If we are, in a real state, we need to really learn to recognize those early signs and warning signals. And believe me, once you've had your illness long enough, you will see and recognize those. And when you have those, give yourself a timeout. I'm not saying if you're home alone with your child, leave. No, nothing like that. But give yourself a little timeout, a little breather, whether it's 1 minute, 30 seconds, whatever. Go in the bathroom, but make yourself aware that, oh my gosh, I need to think. Train your brain. Even though we've got this illness, it doesn't mean, we aren't capable of, having skills that work, that interrupt the thought process. They won't cure us, and they certainly won't manage our illness over time. But I believe we can really teach ourselves to, just take a moment and stop something from happening that can be prevented. Now, lastly, realize that our spouse or partner, assuming we have one, is also going through this whole situation with us. And it's not only hard to deal with a person that has bipolar disorder, but imagine, if you've got a child in the picture, you're dealing with raising a child and having a partner or spouse with bipolar disorder, and it's going to be very difficult, but it is very doable. But as those of us with bipolar disorder should be, I believe, extra considerate and thankful and gracious, grateful that they are sticking by us, helping us, supporting us in not only our, health, but most importantly, the, raising our children the best we can to have happy children that are unaffected or as least affected by our illness as we can. I'm really glad that you guys joined me today. I hope I had some advice for those of you that are parents, maybe new parents, or maybe not so new, or people that are with a bipolar partner or having bipolar that are considering children. Realize that it is an undertaking, and having a very supportive person by your side and doing your part is essential and very important for you to understand and be responsible about before you bring a child into this world. So thank you all for joining me today. Please like and subscribe and share this video with friends. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below. I always welcome them and I'll always answer them. So thanks again and have a great day.